Hey there everyone, this is Vintage Sewing Machine Garage, and I am making a final video for a machine that I started talking to you folks about, and I was using it as an example of how you go about sewing machine restoration. And I think I told you folks I've been working on domestic sewing machine overhaul restorations for almost 8 years now, 8 years actually, and I have always focused on the electrified machines. And I met some folks who are into treadling and wanted to see if there was maybe a way to expand the popularity of treadle machines. They are wonderful and built like tanks, and I was looking for people with projects who might they might benefit from a slow sewing speed. And what you're looking at, as you've seen in the other videos, is the Singer 15 class. And it was introduced around the year 1900. This is the 1906 version. And what I did was I bought this from someone who could no longer store it. It had been in their family for multiple generations. And they wanted someone to take care of it, and it needed to be gone through. It had been sitting for a long time. And I just wanted to show you folks some of the wonderful things about these machines and why you might want one. The Singer 15 itself is a legendary machine. The electrified versions are really tough. You can get direct drive, and I've got a direct drive. I've got that Singer 15 class, 15-125 in the green that you guys saw. That has since sold. And I have a black one that has this same basic shape, but it is a later electrified model, the 1591. But this is its ancestor. And one of the advantages to this machine is, in addition to its very large heavy hand wheel, which lends itself to moving doing stitches very slowly by hand. And one of the reasons I like this is I have I've met several people who are interested in working with slightly heavier leathers. Okay, this is not bridle leather for a horse saddle or anything, but if you're looking beyond garment leather and you want, you're not doing 1,000 pieces, but you want to be able to work and stitch leather. And this leather here that I've got is a little stiffer. And there are people who like to do everything from bookmaking to, they might even make a bag out of something like this, right? So it's a little stiffer than garment leather. This is about 1/8, a little more than 1/8 inch thick. Actually, it's just a little less than 1/4 inch. This Singer 15 is one of several vintage Singers that will actually take a size 21 needle. I am not kidding you. And I was able to get, I don't know if these will show up on the camera. See if I can get it to focus. That is a size 21 needle. It's the Oregon brand. They're made in Japan. They're easy to get. They're not expensive. And they're some of the best quality needles I can find. And size 21 is the largest, and that allows me to comfortably use a heavier upholstery weight thread, which some of you who are going to sew things like books or maybe even bags would like to use the heavier upholstery weight threads, as opposed to the lighter sewing threads for garments. And so one of the things I wanted to do was to demonstrate the power of a treadle machine. Now, a treadle machine, you guys can't really see this where I've got the camera right now, but the treadle machine has a very large belt wheel. It's probably the size of a pizza, and if you've ever seen the treadle wheels, you know this. Now, I had the original treadle belt, but it was older, so I simply replaced it. You can still get leather, historically accurate treadle belts, and I buy this in bulk, and and I'm going to be doing a lot more treadles, I believe. I've really fallen in love with this one. But anyway, one of the advantages when you are sewing leather is that you want to sew slowly, particularly because very often your stitches are going to be ornamental. Your stitches are not just there for construction. They're going to be viewed and seen as part of the aesthetic of your project. The other thing that you'll notice is that many people who sew leather do not want to back tack with a machine. Or if they do, they want to do it very carefully and not with an automatic reverse, which most people who sew garments just inherently want. And that is because if you back tack on something like leather, like this piece for example, very often if you don't do it by hand, you're going to see the stitch move or not be perfectly straight. And again, the ornament quality of a stitch is very important to many sewers, particularly leather sewers. So I have down in here, I've been doing some test stitching and I wanted to show you guys. I've got my needle down, which you always want to do. And now you're going to see me going backwards for a moment. And as you see, guys, I'm basically pedaling the large pedal at the bottom of the table, and I can get really good control with my needle, and that's, again, super important when you're sewing leather. Oh. Hey guys, and I wanted to, sorry I had to stop because I'm a tall guy in a small chair and I wanted to adjust my seating. So as you can see, I'll pull this up. What you would do, well, before I pull it up, one thing you would do is when you go to back tack, you're going to raise up your presser foot, you're going to come around, and in order to lock your stitch in with leather particularly, I highly recommend that you do this by hand. And again, you're going to have great precision. And honestly, let me pull this sample up so you can actually see what I've sewn here. I wanted you guys to see the stitches and see if I can get this to focus in for you. The lighting is a little strange. I'm in a different room today. But I wanted you to see this and get a feel for the quality and the strength of the stitches. And on the suede side, you're not going to be able to see the stitches are buried in the suede, but I just wanted you guys to see the power of a treadle machine. And again, for those of you who are going to be sewing leather, particularly the heavier leathers, this is something you may want to try. So anyway, I'm going to post this online. Let me know what you folks think. I don't know if you've ever used a treadle machine for heavier material. It doesn't have to be leather. It could be canvas for all that goes. But I really want people to maybe take another look at treadle machines instead of the electric machines that we've basically been using since the 1930s. So I know those of you, there are many of you out there who are treadle fans, but hoping to find some more fans for these wonderful machines, and they're probably the strongest. The 15 treadle is probably the strongest machine that I can provide for a customer that is domestic, that's not an industrial. So anyway, thanks for watching, folks.